what would be a realistic amount to just live an average life, even if it's a combined salary of man and wife, husband and wife, or I don't know, for a family
For
of
most
four?
Nigerians, until one person is earning 100 and above, most Nigerians feel that we are still suffering. If you cut your coat by your size in Canada and you're earning 4,000 with a family of four, my dear, it's going to be a struggle.
How has the increased cost of living in Canada, especially as an immigrant, in what ways has that really shocked you?
When I came to Canada, I'll buy this, I'll cook a goosey soup and all of that, $120. I would go from my car to the house twice to carry in what I bought. Today, $100 will not feed a dog.
In 2017, with $70, I can fill my tank. Come forward to this year and I drive in to fill my tank. It's going to cost me $100. Another one, property taxes. When I took over my house in 2019, 2020, I think I started off with property taxes of about $2,000 to $3,000. As at the last property tax I paid close to $4,800. Property taxes must increase every year.
A few years ago, we used to go shopping and not look at anything. You just take things that you want and put it in your basket and go and pay. Now, they know Bonnie well to do that now.
At least let's look at in the last 6 years or 7 years. So you both are still in Canada in 20, I don't know, 6 years. So if you look at, we all know that, okay, that there's been general cost of living has been higher, is higher now than it was. But how has the cost of living, in what ways can you look and say, well, this is very significant in terms of the increased cost of living between 2000 and what's 7 years from now? From 7 years backwards, this is 2025.
Yeah, about 2017, 2018. Probably.
2017, 2018, there you can just have a flashback. How has the increased cost of living in Canada, especially as an immigrant, in what ways has that really shocked you?
I'll say one. Okay, sorry, if I can start quickly now.
Go.
So the one I can easily remember is cost of gas. We call it fuel in Nigeria, but here we call it gas. And I've been driving the same car since I came in 2017 till now. So the car is still the same. So you can say that measure is not different. It's not like you were driving a Toyota and now you are driving a Corvette that consumes more fuel or that. So I've been driving the same kind of car. When I bought that car in 2017, with $70, I can fill my tank. Like I'll move from empty. And you know that empty, that flashlight is flashing, like the dash light that shows that your tank is actually pushing. You are pushing reserve. I will move from flashing light to my needle, moving all the way to full with $70. Come forward to this year. If I'm in that same scenario where my tank is flashing and I drive in to fill my tank, it's going to cost me $100. So that's $30 in 7 years, approximately. Some might say, not too bad. That's like $4 per year. But that's just that's just part of the many expenses that inflation is hitting on, because that's just gas. Now, another one, property taxes. When I took over my house in 2019, 2020, property taxes, I think I started off with property taxes of about $2,000 to $3,000. As at the last property tax I paid close to $4,800. Property taxes, so I'm not talking about every other charge. So these are the two I can easily remember. So you can see the jump. For property tax, you have jumped 2,000 plus in 4 years, and in gas, you have dropped $30 in that same years. So, you know, those, if inflation does not hit you, those actually hit you hard, because now you have tangible, tangible evidences that things are really climbing up. And there is no year that I know of that your property tax does not go up. It has never been stable. Property taxes must increase every year for sure. At all, they will add 10% on it, or maybe 5%. So, that those are the two things I can easily remember. I don't know if Nemeka can remember some.
So these property taxes, regardless of whatever policy direction the government in power is facing, it will always increase year on year on. Interesting. So
I don't know, but since I have been here and I've gotten a house, property taxes have increased year on year. Hopefully next year they will surprise me positively and not increase it. But as I speak to you now, property taxes have increased year on year since I have taken over mortgage of a house in Canada.
Thanks for that, Chiba, because I did a little calculation, a little math now. Gas prices have gone up, according to these numbers you put now, 42.8% between in the last 7 years. Wow, that's by Canadian standard that may be poor, but by Nigerian standard that's excellent, A plus. Depending on exactly the last 1 or 2 years in Nigeria. So Uncle Peter, please go ahead.
So there's a point that Chibike kind of left out, and I'm surprised that he left that out. Gas has actually come down from, so in the last few months he would have spent more than $100. He's saying what he spends now. I remember that the first time I bought gas in Canada with my tuke was in 2016. Gas was 65 cents. In May 2016, gas was 65 cents. Today, it is if you go to Costco, it is $1.16 thereabout. All around Costco, it should be about, let's say, $1.20, give or take. Now, it has come down to this from about, it was almost touching $1.50. But they removed the carbon, and it stayed that way for about 2-3 years before they removed the carbon tax, and the prices, kind of came down. But again, businesses. So I remember when I came to Canada, I would go the week that I spend money. I want to live large. I will go to Kasoa. I will spend $120. Like, that's me, living like a king. I'll buy this, I'll cook a goosey soup and all of that. $120. I would go from my car to the house twice to carry in what I bought. Yes, today, $100 will not feed a dog. I kid you not. If you go shopping with, what we can do one day is to, I don't know, I need someone to hold a camera for me, and we'll take $100 and go shopping in a mall. So we can just, see what we can buy. Because when you say these things, people think that you're just, he doesn't like liberals, or he's this and he's that. And no, we're just stating the reality of the situation. Today, if I want to buy for myself alone, I will spend nothing less than $200. Because, what are the things I even eat? I like to eat peanuts, cashew nuts. What is it called? There's this thing, beef jerky, and I buy, what are the things I buy? I eat plenty of vegetables, and then meat. Out of that $200, beef alone, to buy beef will cost me maybe $50. So the rest is shared with all the other nonsense that I buy, kombucha and things like that. So And again, you have to factor in when you're buying, because of I try to eat what do they call it, organic. Those ones are a little bit more expensive. And I've tried, for instance, bananas. I've tried to eat the GMO ones. I don't like the way it tastes. It's just off tasting to me. So I don't buy it. It's cheaper, it's very abundant, but I don't buy it. I don't like it. So all those things that you like to keep to the taste that yeah, they are costing more. Then another point that we have to make is shrinkflation. It's the same price, it's the same item, but it's smaller, and you won't even notice because a few years ago, Chibai can laugh when I say this. We used to go shopping and not look at anything. You just take things that you want and put it in your basket and go and pay. Now, they no born you well to do that now. You have to, how much is it? Because the way they do their pricing, buy 3 at lower price. You have to consider now, I might need this again in the future. So instead of buying 1 at expensive price, let me buy 3 and pay less. So we've become mathematicians because, it's not enough anymore. It's not like your wages are running alongside this increase in cost. Our wages are still where they are. For you to get a significant wage rise in Canada, you most certainly have to leave your job. The wage increases you get with your employment will be, say, 7% increment, which can take you from, say, 100K to, say, 107,000, which doesn't really make a lot of sense if you factor in that they are moving you from a different tax bracket to a higher one. So at the end of the day, your take home might go from $2,300 to $2,500, which is not that significant. But if you go from 100 and you change jobs and you land at 120 or 150, then your life can change significantly. You can, absorb a lot more costs. So these are part of the issues. There's been a gigantic change from when I came to now. Life has become more expensive, but thankfully we're still able to stand on our 2 feet, and we hope to continue to do that.
Oh, thanks for that, Emeka. 2 things to even note from what you said. The first one, I didn't think about it, that now instead of increasing the price, many manufacturers now will reduce the quantity of items in a pack. If you're buying biscuits, for instance, at least we in Nigeria, we have the coastal biscuits. Before it will be 6, now it is 4, then it becomes 3. Then those 3 become very thin. Before you know it now, they put the 2 together, and then you find out that you think you are paying the same price, but you're getting fewer items for the same amount. So, and you've mentioned so many things about money, and in my own head, I have a figure in my mind that I consider as the average amount that I think is okay for, let me say, a family of 4, man, wife, and let's say 2 kids. In my head, I'm thinking $4,000. I don't know. But let's picture this scenario. Let's paint a scenario. Let's imagine that, and let me put myself in this picture right now. I have decided to relocate to Canada in 2025, coming with my family. And how much should my household income be to be able to live a decent life for a family of 4, myself, wife, and 2 kids? Based on your experience, what kind of numbers should I be looking at? Who wants to go first? Anybody?
Like, you want to go?
Yeah. So the question is, are you saying how much you have to be earning per month?
Yes. What would be a realistic amount to just live an average life, even if it's a combined salary of man and wife, husband and wife, or I don't know, for a family of 4?
Okay, so the total family income, you are thinking
Yes.
4,000 per month.
Is
Gross.
it Yes, I don't know. I don't know. Is it
Gross.
4,000? Yes. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Well, 4,000 gross is not unmakeable for two families, because I can't do the maths now. If you add a minus tax, that means two of you combined should be nearing that 100,000 earning per annum, maybe, or even slightly, or maybe slightly more, for you to have. Sorry, the 4,000 is it gross or net? I think I'm confusing myself. So when you say 4,000, is it net
Gross.
after taxes are gone?
Gross.
Gross.
Yes, before tax.
If you make 4,000 as gross before tax, wow.
Immigrants face.
That will be you will be stretching it. I don't think it will work. I honestly don't think it. I'm not saying you will die. I'm just saying it's gonna be a stretch. It's gonna be a hand to mouth, paycheck to paycheck kind of thing, especially when two kids are involved. And by kids, I'm assuming that these are kids that are still very much dependent. It's not like 12, 13, 14-year-olds that you can sit down and explain to and say, Omo, it be like saying 101, we're going to do until things stabilize. If you have 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds, you got to feed them anytime they say, Mommy, Daddy, I'm hungry, right? So 4,000 is tough. It's tough to make it.
Even if it's tough, try to cut it short, Chibai, but even if it is tough or unimaginable to see how someone will survive, is that a reality for some people right now? Is
Absolutely.
that a reality for some immigrants right now?
So
wow.
So here's the thing. You know, I have come to understand that when you are analyzing things, it's difficult to just put a stamp on certain discussions, because remember, you are speaking from your reality. For a Nigerian, for most Nigerians, until one person is earning 100 and above, most Nigerians feel that we are still suffering. But that's the Nigerian mentality. There are some, I would say there are some other African countries, if the husband and wife combined are anywhere near 80, 90, they are comfortable. They're like, God, I didn't even know I will make it to this level. I'm fine. Even if it's paycheck to paycheck, I'm fine. The things that bother us, the things that stress us as Nigerians, the pressure we put ourselves under as Nigerians, I think the pressure we put on ourselves per square inch of human, I would say, like your mind, I think is the highest in Africa. Because I don't know whether we'll put it down to you don't want people to see you finish, or you put it down to no matter how things are bad for me, the people in Nigeria still expect me to remit a little bit. So black tax is also part of it. Some of these other people, when you leave, you cut off everybody. Everybody should sort themselves out. But for a Nigerian, as long as you have family over there, there is something in your conscience that touches you to say, even if it is once every 2 months, send $100 home so that those ones can survive. And also remember that they have someone abroad who is doing slightly better. So because of that, 4,000 might seem like 4,000 gross earnings for a family of 4. They see themselves as, God, we are suffering. But some other people earning that same amount, they are fine. And here's the thing. A white person might stay in a job for 25 years and will not hit the $100,000 mark till they retire. Because their own family units are really very small. It might be husband, wife, a cat, and a dog. Right? As in, the younger the families are, the less children you will see in them. It's rare to see a family of 6 of white people. A family of 6, mother, father, 4 children is rare. So it sounds 4,000 is, in my own Nigerian mind, that's a struggle because I have black tax to pay. I have my own bills to pay. I also have a standard of living that I think I want. Like, if you are making 4,000, let me give it a context. If you are earning 4,000 and you live in downtown, you also work in downtown, right? It means that you don't necessarily need a car. So if I buy a bus pass of $70 a month, buy bus pass $70 for my wife, $160. With $160, if we are staying in downtown, we can do all of our movement to walk back to market, everything. We can do all of it without $160 for the month. Because all our movement is within town, and town has perfect busing and transit system that works. I am not staying in downtown because I don't like the environment of downtown for my young kids because it's a little bit rougher. So I'm staying a little bit in the outskirts, the southwest. That means I must get a car if I want to go to work early. Getting a car means I have to, like I told you, I finish 1 tank in a week. So that's $100 times 4. That's $400 for gas alone. I pay insurance. Minimum $200, $300 monthly. Insurance is a must. You must have insurance on your car. Now, if you don't service your car, you have to service it twice a year at least. And that twice a year is changing filter. You have to change from summer tires to winter tires, or from winter tires to summer tires. That means you must have 8 pairs of tires. 4 for summer, 4 for winter, to be interchanging. And those 8 pairs, if your life is important to you, especially your winter tires, you use it 2-3 years. After 3 years, you need to change the whole 4 tires for your winter tires again. Right? So the expenses that come with car is already eating into that 4,000. Just car alone. I'm not talking of groceries. So you see, if I'm staying in downtown, 160 alone is way less than 400 for gas. It's way less than car maintenance. It's way less than purchase. So you see how they adjust themselves. So some of those families they don't mind staying downtown. Now, maybe I'm the one that went and took mortgage. I wanted to live in a house, in a good house, in a beautiful house, at least to represent. Right? Good. You are living in a house. There's a chance that that family of 4 can easily fit into a 3-bedroom apartment. Now, a 3-bedroom apartment is very simple. You have one, you and your wife. If you have 3 children of the same sex, you can use one, and you have one as your spare. If you have different sexes, you put the girl in one room, put the boys in one room, or whichever how it is arranged. You have the 2 rooms for the children, 1 room for you and your wife. That should be enough. And you need to pay only 1 monthly rent. That monthly rent covers, sometimes it covers even water. I think you, Nemeka, correct me. I think you just need to, it covers water. The 1 month rent you pay in a rented apartment covers water. And I think covers some other things. In some other apartments, they even give you internet free. They give you TV subscription free.
Some you just pay electricity.
You just pay electricity.
Everything else is covered.
So let's say 3-bedroom is costing me 2,000. 2,000 is maximum, but let me just say it costs me 2,000 a month. That 2,000 a month is all I am giving accommodation. But if I am staying in an apartment, if I'm living in my own house, right? Take away the annual mortgage, the annual tax that I need to pay. I need to pay mortgage. Sometimes your mortgage comes down to maybe 1,1 or 1,2 every bi-weekly. So every month you have to give the banks like 2,200. Then you pay water, you pay light, you pay people that come and take away your dustbin and all that. You pay HOA. HOA is the people that take care of, they are responsible. There's the board that is responsible for managing that your location. They have their own charges. It's not much, but it is still money that comes out from your pocket. So you see that when you rent, you outsource those problems to your landlord. Pay a subsidized fee and move on. So you can see that already. If I'm staying in downtown and I am renting, I can reduce my expenses by at least 50%. But as a Nigerian that has 2 children, and I feel that I don't want to be staying in a rented apartment. It doesn't befit our status. You want to come and rent. You want to come and buy a house. That comes with expenses. So you see, how you want to live also is important with how much you are earning. If you cut your coat below your size, maybe 4,000 will fly. But if you cut your coat by your size, not even above your size, if you cut your coat by your size in Canada and you're earning 4,000 with a family of 4, my dear, it's going to be a struggle. And that's where Oga credit card quietly creeps in and starts taking more also. Because when you finish the one you have made and other expenses come up, you have to dip your hand into credit card. And there's nothing banks love more than having you use your credit card and not paying it up within the allotted time, because that means they can now dip hand into that earning and take interest. So even the small 4,000 you're managing, you will start paying interest from that 4,000. So you see how you get roped into the rat race that you never seem to escape. So it's a longer route to explaining what you are saying, but I think 4,000 is doable for a family of 4, but you have to cut your coat below, way below your size, if you want to have some sort of savings. That's the way I see it.
Thanks for that, Chibike. In fact, Emeka, I would like you to also respond to that same scenario. And once you respond, I would also follow up with a question. And as Chibike was speaking, I also have some questions on this mortgage versus rent thing. And I think it's very important to see, when does it make sense to do that. But in the 4,000 one, and what's your own thoughts on that?